done this is because I don't want there to be necessarily a negative connotation with these, because they're actually very, very important for our ecosystem. They just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing. So we're gonna learn a lot about each of them so y'all can understand safety concerns and kind of how you need to address it. So let's dig in a little bit and kind of talk about a few of them. I'm not gonna wreck these names, so we're just gonna kind of go through each one of them. So this first one, you can see it was first founded in 1940. I will go ahead and tell you that most of these biofilms are extremely old. They've probably been here before we got here. And they've just advanced over time, mutated, and got different names and stuff like that. So this is a soil bacterium, and it grows very, very fast. The sedimenticola is an aquatic bacteria, so it does very, very well in water. So condensate drain pans, it's got water all day. This is our Delafildi. This is a soil bacterium. It's antibiotic resistant, and it's already been linked to single case pathogens. So that means a single person got sick from it at some point in different little areas. Our Brassilinus, this is a soil bacterium. It's also UV resistant, and it's antibiotic resistant, and that UV resistance is where it protects the plants during drought situations. So what you're gonna find out is all of these biofilms, that's what they're made to do. So when there's an area where there's extreme drought conditions and it's super sunny like deserts and things like that and super tropical environments, it creates this film around the root system of the plants, trees, anything, and keeps them alive during these problems. So they're actually extremely, extremely important. All right, so this one, we're kind of seeing that same thing here. It's a root bacterium, it's UV resistant, and it's antibiotic resistant. And we'll go into the resistance a little bit more as we get through the rest of them. All right, so this one here, soil bacterium, antibiotic resistant. So also it can deal with very low acidic and very high alkaline pHs. So your coil cleaners that you're using that are alkaline or acidic based, this one is not gonna touch it. Also super good in very low freezing temperatures and also extremely high temperatures. But the really, really big one that I want to talk about here is going to be this one, our insidiosa, and it's got its name for a reason. You can see that it's saying it's estimated in 2003. You see the list below it. I guarantee you this is probably one of the oldest ones. This is just when it got this name due to the characteristics that it has now. So this one is a soil bacterium, antibiotic resistant, disinfectant resistant, UV resistant. So genome plasticity means that it can evolve very quickly. So the moment something hurts it, it's gonna immediately mutate and beat what just hurt it. And then it's also linked to a lot of nosocomial infections in hospitals. So that means somebody went into the hospital and let's say they had a heart attack. They'll end up getting sick for this. They didn't even go in there for that. And that's kind of what's going on. All right, so we've all kind of gone over what's going on. These are the 7 biofilms. So what we did, I actually have a technician who's here in the room that sent me the slime from Florida, and we extracted the DNA and found out what it was. Because you can't fight anything you don't know, right? So let's keep going into this. All right, so now all of a sudden, why is this here? These are very old. Why are we all of a sudden seeing them like we are now? So based off of everything that we've kind of limited out, it's gotta be one of the biggest factors is this change from copper to aluminum. Because copper is 99.9% microbial on its own. Anything that touches it will no longer live. So we're kind of, that's the link, because we've done pretty much everything else to eliminate any other factors, and that's the big thing that's really started happening around the 2019 areas when that transition started happening. And unfortunately, no matter how much I beg, they're never gonna go back to copper because they're making too much money, so we gotta deal with it. All right, so now we're gonna talk about how to manage it in the best way possible. So let's go back a little bit and talk about what these are. They're extremely important to the environment, right? So we really have to have a love-hate relationship with this. We do not want to kill this. And to be honest, we really can't kill it. As you can see, every time we tried to kill it, it just came back stronger. So if we don't create challenge, this will not mutate again. So when you're trying to use these things like detergents, you saw it got detergent resistant. That's because we basically made it mad, so it came back stronger. So if we just create a different environment for it and let it get back out to where it needs to be, which is in the environment. We don't want to kill this stuff. So based off of everything that the research that we've done over the past 3 years, I highly, highly recommend that a brand new aluminum system that you get in, you need to clean it. I would really try to not put water on the system. We do make a cleaner that's a solvent based, and it pretty much cleans it, it's self-rinsing. Now, if you gotta, you gotta, but I definitely think that you need to clean your systems before you even set them up. Because what's happening is, I believe this is actually starting from the manufacturing systems and then coming into the home. Cause there's something about you dragging this into your house on your shoes, which you live in Florida and stuff like that, that soil bacterium is in your environment. You're bringing that dirt into your house and then the air handler's sucking it up, you know, all that, but I just don't see that growth that fast. So I highly, highly think that these are actually lying dormant on the coils themselves. And then when you go in there and you set up a system and you turn it on and that water starts and it just blows up, because water gives life. Another thing is, say you're actually designing someone's home, maybe put the return up instead of on the ground. You know, think of those little things in these southeastern regions. So definitely prepare before you just set it up. And then we're gonna have to treat it. This isn't going away, we're not gonna kill it, so you're gonna have to find a good treatment. So what I suggest is find something that works. I'm gonna give you some stuff that we've used that we know that works, but if you find something that works for you, that's great too. And like I said, we really just wanna create a non-conducive growing environment so it wants to leave. It's gonna be there regardless, but we can at least get it out of the system. That's what we really want. And then educate. This is gonna be your biggest thing. I know so many techs in Florida that are losing contracts because they have no idea what this is. So they're going back, and you know, a regular day-to-day person is like, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm gonna go to the next person, right? So educate, you gotta talk to them. Tell them the stuff that we're talking about now. Make them know you're the expert. Talk to them, tell them it's not going away. Tell them to keep up with their filters, clean their floors as much as they can. But like I said, I do feel that this is starting from a further source, and we're kind of working on trying to get to that too. So this is what we have developed. It's called a biofilm remover. And I'm gonna kind of go over this and then go over other things that are in the thing as well. So there's no biological additives in this, so there's no enzymes or anything like that, because we'll go into that. You're gonna